Hi everyone, my name is Mario, and in today's webinar we're going to go over on how to export most of the information of Sablono into a CSV format and what that information actually means. To do so, I will actually let my colleague David explain about that feature.
This is the demo project that I always use in the release webinar. The first feature that we were talking about was the CSV export. So I will quickly show that one. If you want to export a CSV, you can go to three places. First is the deliverables list, second is the activities page, and the third is import-export tools. In all these places, you will find the possibility to export the CSV. I will now go through the deliverables page, open that one. That brings up the list of deliverables. And up here in the top right corner, we have a new button which says export data. And if you click that one, it will forward you onto the import export tools page and then also automatically open the dialog to export data from the platform. We will now choose, in here you can basically export data for specific schedules that you imported, also the data of a specific Excel sheet that you imported in the past, or, and that is the CSV export, you just export the data of the whole project as it is. So that could mean different schedules combined, then also an Excel sheet, whatever you imported in the first place. Yeah, if you select the CSV export here as a bottom option, you would just select it and then continue. That will create the CSV file. And once the loading or the creation is through, you would have to hit the download file button at the bottom of the page. And then we can already see that the CSV was exported or downloaded. Next step would be to bring up Excel, which I will quickly do. And then in here, you will have to import that file. So what doesn't really work is just double clicking here. I mean, that will also open the file, but it might be that the data in the file is not shown in the correct way. So I would always recommend on importing the CSV into Excel. That's also quickly done. You just open Excel and then go to data and then choose the from text CSV file option, which allows you to import a text or CSV file. If you select that and then select the file that you just exported from Sablono and hit import, it will then in a small wizard ask you for a couple of things. For example, the format of the text that you want to import. This is now also kind of important, especially if you import a German or a Spanish file. For English, I think it's not that important, but still you would have to select the Unicode UTF-8 format here. Everything else can stay as it is. And once you selected that, you would hit the load button at the bottom of the wizard, and then it takes a few seconds since Excel is now importing all that data. And then you see everything that you exported from Sablono platform basically in Excel. So let's just quickly go through it and see what's in here. We see the deliverable code, obviously. We see the deliverable name. We see the description of the deliverable. We also see where that deliverable is located. We see when the works on that deliverable are planned to be started and also planned to be finished. And we see if the whole deliverable is on schedule. As you already notice here, we have multiple lines showing the same deliverable because it's same code, same name. So I'm pretty sure it's the same deliverable. And that's because at the back of the table, it changes from just looking at that specific deliverable into looking at each activity of that deliverable separately. So basically, that's why you have multiple lines of the same deliverable, because each line shows one activity of that deliverable. Yeah, at the back of the page, you will see then the activity name, which you're currently looking at, what's the planned duration for that activity, and then also when that activity is planned to be started and planned to be finished. And after that, as I already mentioned in the PowerPoint 5 minutes ago, you will also now find the information when it was actually started, if that's available, and who reported the start, and then when it was actually finished and who reported the the finish date. The last 3 columns show what's the current status of that activity. So if it would be marked as work started on Sablono, it would show 50%. If it's finished, it shows 100. And it also shows if that activity has open quality issues or open obstructions reported on the platform. In this case, I think in the demo project, I don't have quality issues or obstructions, but if there would be some, they would be shown in these columns here. Maybe one interesting thing that you have to keep in mind is that the actual start date obviously can only be reported into this file if it was previously reported onto the platform. So if you, for example, as I did with those activities here, jump from that activity was not started at all to the work was finished, it will only show an actual finish date and not an actual start date. Right, that's it for the CSV export functionalities.